I'm Ryan Moreno, CEO, co-founder of the Joseph Richard Group.
And I'm David George, corporate.
Sorry.
Part of that was funny.
That's good. That's good. Do you want me to do it? You do it.
I'll go with this one. Oh man, it's a long. Yeah, we've known each other since high school, grade 8.
He was actually a year older than me, but we started hanging out pretty early.
Yeah,
I think.
Good Catholic school in Surrey called Holy Cross.
Surrey, what? Is that a thing? I don't know if that's a thing.
Maybe it's not a thing. I really wasn't in school. The memories
Yeah.
are not really school.
Probably somewhere behind the school, in the parking lot or something like that, doing things we probably shouldn't talk about.
Yeah.
You can edit that. Well, I started as a busboy when I was 14. And like most people, I liked it. It was fun. It was a good way to meet people. It was a pretty fun job. Tips were always good. And then Andre and I we took a bartending course when we were in 19. And then we were working at a couple of the big chain restaurants in town. Liked it. Eventually started our own school. I took a bartending school. It's kind of old, and at the time I was flipping bottles when I think there was a time that was cool. So I did that, and we said someone should start a school that taught both of that. That had more modern drinks and actually did that. And everybody at work always just said, why don't you guys do it? You talk about it all the time. So we started this bartending school, did it for a while, and that was sort of our first kind of foray into having our own business. And then from there we separated. I had my own restaurant a couple of years after. Andre was at the Ozone, also in Surrey. And we eventually came together in 2006 in the nightclubs, and then kind of gone on since then, and here we are today.
For me, it was a little bit different. I always had a desire. Eating was always the big thing for me, and I wanted to learn how to cook, and so it was always a big desire. I was really into reality TV shows, Food Network. I started watching those types of shows real early, and then I always wanted to be in the restaurant business, so I thought the best way to do that, of course, being not in the restaurant business, was to get on a reality show and just get a first-class ticket to the top, and of course, that's how it happened. Won MasterChef, and kind of rest is history.
Well, it was weird because as long as I had known Dave, I never knew as how big of a foodie that he really was, how passionate he was about it. So I think we had crossed, I don't know, I mean, we have actually had the same barber for like 7-8 years.
Yeah.
So probably longer than that, actually.
Yeah.
And anyways, so when he was on the show, we started chatting. I think the show had already been done.
Yeah.
I think, right? And of course, he had a lot of opportunities. He couldn't tell me that he won. Obviously, no one knew until the show was on. But he'd gone on, and I mean, even just from watching it, obviously he had done really well. And that's when I didn't know you were such a foodie, man, and you're really good. And kind of one thing led to another. And after he was finished the show and had won, obviously a lot of different opportunities. So of course, I wanted him to come with us and do all the things we're doing. But he also had kind of a lot of things ahead of him. So I don't know, it was good. We just kind of chatted about it. And at the time, we were launching a new concept with SNL. So we fired out the menu in about a day.
Yeah.
And we were talking about it. I know that's crazy to say, and people in the industry to hear that would think it's crazy, but we did a tasting, and he came out, and I think Dave presented stuff to the whole team, and it was, yeah, that's good, that's really good. And it was, yeah, we kind of fired out, didn't hold anything back.
Yeah.
So it's good.
Yeah, ultimately, yeah, exactly. It was hard not to, living in Surrey. There seemed to be a new town hall every 4 or 5 days. So it was hard not to miss, what is Ryan doing? And then, like I say, we were getting haircuts. I'm like, so it looks like you open another 10 restaurants or another 10 pubs. And then, of course, when I was on the show, the conversations were a little bit more about, culinary and what was I going to do, what he was doing, and how we could maybe one day work together. And of course, I already in my back pocket knew that I had wanted, and I would love to be able to work with him and the group, because I knew there was growing and passion was there, and we would like a lot of our thoughts would align. Conversations through haircuts.
Yeah.
Barbershops.
No doubt. Barbershop sessions.
Yeah, barbershop sessions. Yeah, for me it was, I had ultimately in my mind, got a good memory, so in my mind I had what, if I were to open a restaurant, what my 10, 20, 30 dishes would be. Years of cooking, years of traveling and eating, years of, just studying the craft. I had all these dishes, and we tried them all. Everyone loved them, and then we tried to execute 300 of them in a night. Not so much.
Yeah, and then plus the fact that we when we all came together, we had these ideas. I mean, much like anything, I mean, we try, we set the bar really high, and I mean, we try to even go further than that. So we wanted to have butlers in all the stations. We wanted to have, coffee presses and French presses at the table. Everything had to be the best when we did it. So we kind of launched with that out of the gates. I mean, Wagyu, we're sous videing everything in the kitchen. This is probably one of the smaller kitchens that we have. So it was, and then, I mean, of course, with everything that happened, day one in the show, new concept, everything, it was over 100,000 views or something like that on the opening promo. It was pretty wild. So, I mean, it was good. I mean, the team really came together, and we had to come together pretty quickly every day. but there was a lot of challenges for sure. It was
They had the challenges.
entertaining. Yeah, it was tough.
Not really. And the interesting thing about me and my, desire for restaurants and the culinary experience is actually the experience. And I've touched
the same thing.
Yeah, it's more the experience.
Yeah.
And I've said before a million times, in California, there's a restaurant called State Bird Provisions, and not only is the food excellent in super West Coast and super California, how the experience is laid out and how the service is done is so different and so unique. And again, that's really what sticks out for me is the experience. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. I mean, there's been I've been fortunate to travel, a few places and eat at some really amazing restaurants. And I mean, there's some great food, but it's definitely the experience that makes it. I think a couple of places that we've actually gone together as a team were pretty remarkable start to finish. And it started from when they picked you up, when they dropped you off, and everything in between. They kind of nailed everything. So that just made the whole experience that much better.
Necessity. No. No, it was just perfect timing.
Yeah, it really was. And I think back to your other question of, after he won the show, it was pretty tough. I remember there was a town in Langley when we met, and I didn't know that he had won. And I don't know. I think, anyway, one of the conversations, and I think even after I knew that you won, it was even more pressure, because before I knew that he won, he had said, what do you think? Like, what do you got? What are you guys doing? It was sort of, we were kind of, is there a fit? Is there something that aligns with what he wanted to do and something that we were doing? And of course, we talked about a lot of different things. And of course, for me selfishly, I'm like, well, yeah, man, I'd love to do that. It'd be awesome. It'd be fun to work together and all those things. And then after he won, I almost felt differently in that, well, like, now you have so much bigger thing. Like, I don't know. Like, the pressure is there. I want to make sure that we can deliver, and it's going to be the best thing for you. So it's kind of the friend versus the working together and the thing. So yeah, and the timing was really good. And I mean, we all I don't know. It's all one big family anyway. So we just fit right in. It was really good.
Yeah. It was perfect. It was perfect because ultimately I wanted to get my foot in a door. I wasn't ready to do anything myself. Still very busy. The experiences that I've had were obviously not very much, so it was just a great opportunity, not only for myself to get started, with people that, one, I knew, Andre and Ryan already had known, and then of course the group in a whole it felt like already a part of the family, and we had the same, it just seems like everything seemed to align really well. Like we had the same philosophies. Let's just get it done. Try our absolute hardest. If it doesn't work, whatever, we'll try it again. Like, it's just, that's how I've always lived, and they had the same sensibility, so I just loved it.
That's awesome. That's always been kind of how our culture's been. We just, we said it, this is what we want to achieve, and we just keep going for it. I think for their guests, at least they can always count on, and we're always push it, try to make it better. And if we make a mistake, we'll figure it out, and we'll come back better the next day.
Lick our wounds and get back at it.
We had a lot of wounds there.
What's not?
What are we not doing?
That's probably a smaller list, so let's...